On launch, Intel's Arc's graphic cards were god-awful. The performance was subpar for the price point, they were littered with bugs, and worst of all, they just didn't compete against AMD and Nvidia. But today, Intel made two massive changes that moved the A750 and A770 from an absolute last resort to something that's quite viable. The first change came in the form of a huge update to the drivers for Intel's GPUs, drivers 4091. Definitely the biggest improvement comes out of the driver update was made to frame time. This is the amount of time it takes for a frame made by the graphics card to be presented on screen. In the past, graphs of Intel's Arc GPUs were all over the place, ranging from 4 milliseconds to 20 milliseconds in games like Rainbow Six Siege. For a point of reference, anything past around 12 milliseconds is capable of being perceived by the human eye and can lead to issues like micro-stuttering and delayed inputs. In older games that run DX9, like CSGO, the frame time issue was even worse, jumping well past 20 milliseconds. With the latest drivers, these cards now are stable around 3 to 4 milliseconds across the board. But Intel is not done there. They also claim to have improved performance in CSGO by up to 77% at 1080p, which actually holds true when tested, not only for Counter-Strike but for all other games running on DX9 presented in Intel slides. And to be fair, not all games have seen a major uplift like CSGO or Skyrim, but that's just a sign of maturing drivers. AMD and Nvidia have been at this for decades, which is why we don't see any large jumps in performance with driver updates from them nowadays. But since Intel is still very new at this, there's a long road of improvement in front of them. Best part, it's not only DX9 games that are getting the love, it's also DX11 and DX12 games seeing major jumps in improvement. These jumps are not as big as DX9, but still very nice since they're averaging around 6% in performance uplift. The reason for not having as big of a jump is because the previous big driver update, 3802, made up the primary bulk of gains since the launch of the A750 and A770, resulting in some games having double the performance numbers. Seeing updates like this are so exciting. It truly does show that Intel is committed to carving out their own space in the GPU market. And I'm willing to bet we'll see many more updates like this into the future, especially as new architectures like Battle Mage roll out, and get subscribed so you don't miss on coverage on that. But not only are the driver updates bringing much needed performance to the table, Intel has also slashed the price of the A750, which leads me to my second massive change Intel has made, shifting the price of the A750 from $290 down to $250. It seems like they've recognized the gaps in the market and are capitalizing on it. And as of right now, AMD and Nvidia's current generation of graphic cards only have their heavy hitters out and with a large price tag to match, which isn't what most people are interested in, at least according to the latest Steam hardware survey. According to Valve's data, most people are not using anything greater than a given 60 Ti card, leading to Intel's biggest competitors to actually being last generation cards from AMD and Nvidia, the 6600 XT, 3060 Ti, and whatever's below them in their given stack. And I believe Intel has noticed this gap in the market and is trying to fight for a spot there. On launch, the A750 and A770 stood no chance against the cards from other competitors. But now, Intel has turned these cards into a rather viable alternative to choose. And hey, at least they're not dying left and right like AMD's GPUs. Click this video here if you want to see what's going on there, and I'll see you next time.